Hey everybody, welcome to our National Signing Day preview at 757teams.com. I'm Jami Frankenberry.
And I'm Larry Rubama.
So Larry, signing day is Wednesday, and we have a really good class, the class of 2017 in South Hampton Roads. Kind of the class that every class is measured by was that 2006 class, Percy Harvin, Damon McDaniel, Chris Bell, a lot of those guys. So talk about the class of 2017 and how this class compares to some of the ones we've had in the past.
But this class is really big. You got guys going to Florida State, you guys going to Clemson, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, Tennessee. I mean, it's a really good class. But again, that class of 2006, when you look at Percy Harvin, Damon McDaniel, Chris Bell, they were some of the top wide receivers in the country at that time. And then you throw in people like Cam Chancellor and Ross Dowling and Arthur Moats, guys who ended up playing in the NFL. So this class has a lot to set up. But the one thing we always ask all the time is, will those guys finish there? And we know a lot of times we've had top guys go places that don't finish there. So it's a great class. I want to see what happens 5 years from now.
Right. I think Larry said earlier that class of 2006 had 5 future NFL players in it. So we'll see if this class measures up in the long term. At the top of this class, I mean, it's a pretty easy to pick those top two. I think they're pretty close. Kalen LeBourne is going from Bishop Sullivan. He's going to Florida State. Right. Devin Hunter, we saw him last week commit to Virginia Tech. Right. Those two guys kind of set the bar for everybody else. And they also set the bar in committing ceremonies. Kalen showed up at a practice down in Florida at a camp in a Lamborghini with the Florida State logo on the side. And Devin Hunter played Enter Sandman and committed to Virginia Tech, and it was a big party at Indian River. Yeah. So, Larry, talk about those two guys and sort of what you think of those two after this season and sort of where they're headed.
I love Kalen LeBourne. He brought – in the IMG game, he showed he could do against some of the best talent in the country. Some of his moves, jumping over people, he shows those Florida State fans what they're going to get. I just like the way he's built, everything about him. He's a very good player. And Devin, he played running back, so you couldn't really see what he could do because nobody was going to throw towards him when he was playing defensive back. But I think both those guys are class guys. We're going to see in the future. I'm excited to see both of them. But again, Kalen, he just proved why he's one of the top players. Went down to the Under Armour and won the MVP down there. I don't think there's any. The sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, LeBourne is a running back. Devin Hunter is listed as a safety, but as he was saying after he committed, he thinks he can give Virginia Tech that versatile guy who can play running back. You can line him up at wide receiver.
Linebacker too.
Right.
So he's a lot of positions.
Now the rest of the top 10, now these guys are no slouches. You got number 3. These are the top 50 that Larry rated before the season. Cox's Jordan Williams is going to Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Lake Taylor's Darnell Ewell, Notre Dame. Breon Gaddy is going to Maryland. He's from Bishop Sullivan. Virginia Tech has Taj Capehart from Bishop Sullivan, a wide receiver. Eric Crosby from Ocean Lakes is going to Tennessee. Brandon Gaddy, Breon's brother, he's also going to Maryland. And then round out the top 10, QB Sean Mitchell from Oscar Smith is going to William & Mary, and Dariel Mack, a quarterback from Norview, is going to Central Florida. So this is a pretty good top 10, Larry. What do you think about this top 10?
Well, since I picked it, I think it's a great top 10. Right. But no, I think it is a good top 10. And the person I'm really looking forward to as well is Dariel Mack. He showed a lot of things he could do, both running and throwing the ball. I'm interested to see what he does now at Central Florida. It's an offense that's going to definitely cater to him. He's going to have a great chance to do great things there as well.
Yeah, you can see Larry's top 50 at 757teams.com. The ratings were before the season. We've updated it with where those players are going to school and with their 2016 season stats. So about that top 50, Larry, you saw a lot of those guys in the preseason. Now you saw them during the regular season through the playoffs. Talk about some players who maybe you rated lower or higher and how they've changed in the last couple of months.
Well, one person sticks out to me is definitely Khalid Perry. I had him all pretty high, but I think this season he really showed what he could do. I mean, kick return, punt return, defense, offense. He did so many different things. Also, Lakeland running back DeMontre Meltier rushed for more than 2,000 yards. I didn't see it coming. I don't think anybody else did it as well. So I think he helped himself as well. And Tallwood running back Breon Mosley. I mean, he had a great season, rushed for over 1,200 yards. Really brought his name out. I thought he did a great job. And then there's 3 guys as well. I can't forget about Grassfield running back Darius Higgins. I expect really big things from him. He had a great season. And then 3 guys from Bishop Sullivan, Matt Hodges, Jameer Hudson, and Archie Callahan. They all did well this year playing there. I think, they got the IMG game really helped them out as well. So I see some good things for those guys come signing day.
Yeah, those guys are uncommitted at this point, so we'll see where they go. So, Larry, signing days coming Wednesday. We always see some surprises, some news that we don't expect. I mean, what are you thinking heading into this signing day, and what kind of surprises we could see?
I predict at least one, maybe two flip-flops. We haven't had those in a long time. The last time it happened was when quarterback LaFonte Thurgood was going to go to Virginia Tech and flip-flop and went to Vanderbilt. I see at least one or two of those things happening. You never know what happens late in the year. Coaching moves, people get signed, or they get other players committing at their position and they make changes. So I definitely see a couple of those happening. Another thing is Virginia doesn't have not one player. That hasn't happened since 2015. It makes you wonder what's going to happen. We got some players up there, but Virginia's just really not making their statement here in this state. ODU has two players so far that are in the top 10. But neither one of those guys are in the top 20. Cameron Washington, Tallwood lineman, as well as Grassfield DB, Austin Wood. So you would think that ODU would get some more of these top players, especially these top 10 players. Why aren't those players going there? We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll surprise us. And then I can't forget Howard University hired Mike London. He was at Maryland, left there. Now he's going to be at Howard. I'm curious to see how many players he gets. I think he's going to get several players that maybe were underneath the radar. He loves this area, gets a lot of players from this area, so I can see that happening as well. So
yeah, you remember Mike London when he was at the University of Virginia as the head coach. He recruited a lot of our top guys. In fact, 3 or 4 number one guys in a row headed to Virginia. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact he has at Howard.
Right.
And you talked about Kalik Perry, DeMontre Miltier, and Darius Higgins. Those guys are guys who maybe were a little under the radar but had big senior seasons. They're uncommitted. So what are those three? What do you expect out of those three on signing day?
Well, I think some of those, as we call them, Division I AA schools, I think they're perfect fits there. If they haven't, if they don't sign on signing day, I think that something will come up. The good kids who work hard, they show what they can do during the season, show that they can be dependable players, and I think something will definitely happen for those guys. So I wish the best for those guys. But come signing day, things happen. You might not see anything until maybe a month later when the schools don't get the player that they want. So it's going to be an interesting day. I'm looking forward to it as always.
Yeah, now signing day, I know you're going to go to Bishop Sullivan and see what's going on there. Talk about this is the first signing day at Bishop Sullivan under Coach Chris Scott since he's gone over there from Ocean Lakes, elevated that program. We know about LeBourne. Right. They have some other recruits coming in the coming years, too.
Right.
Taraja Mitchell's one of the top recruits next year. But what do you expect at signing day for Bishop Sullivan? This is a big day for Bishop Sullivan.
They could have close to 10 Division I players, which it hasn't happened in a long time, if ever, here. But I know we've had some great classes in the past, but this could be a huge statement. They've got some guys going to some big places, so it's going to be fun to see who's going where, and we'll see if anybody flip-flops as well.
Yeah, Kalen LeBourne highlights that class.
Yeah.
Taj Capehart is going to Virginia Tech. Talk about that class as a whole, especially at Bishop Sullivan, and sort of what what they've been able to do at Bishop Sullivan.
Well, you just look at when they played IMG. I think that was the thing. IMG had, I think, 45 players going Division I. These guys came in here and showed, we can compete with them, and they got just as big names. You look at some of those players where they're going. Right off the bat with LeBourne going to Florida State and the Gaddy twins and Capehart. So they've shown that yes, we have talent here in the 757, and I think it's going to continue to improve. So it's a great class that they're going to have this year.
Yeah, so class of 2017, signing day is Wednesday. You'll find all the news if news breaks. If somebody flip-flops, Larry or I will have it at 757teams.com. We're going to have an all-day live blog on 757teams.com. You can follow us on Twitter at 757teams. And we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us for our National Signing Day preview.